Have you heard what's going on with Capital One? Well, I think it's about time we take a trip down Morpheus Lane to kind of see what Morpheus has to say about this. Because what's a good glitch in the Matrix without Morpheus?
When you relinquish everything to anyone, you essentially end up with nothing. That is so the case with everyone at Capital One. I by no means make fun of the situation or make light of the situation, but merely explain to you what occurred. As me, being a gig worker since 2019, formerly an executive in casino and gaming, I decided to take matters into my own hands, no longer in the comforts of a W-2, but putting my life in my own hands with no safety net, no insurance, no assurance. Many of you, currently with W-2s, are doing the same thing. You're entrusting people who you don't trust with everything, including your finances, your houses, your children, your cars, your money. You entrust people who you wouldn't trust if you met them in public without knowing who they were. Yet, you do not know who they are, and you still trust them with everything. By no means do I tell you to not trust someone, but merely to mitigate your trust wisely. We have a government you claim you do not trust. We have neighbors you claim you do not trust, which is why you lock your doors at night. There are people at the mall who you claim you do not trust, which is why you lock your car before you enter the mall. But you give everything you own to banks, to corporate execs who you do not know, yet you trust them. With so many times I was told to get a W-2, that gig work was not consistent enough. It was something they could not trust. As a W-2 was trustworthy. It was enough for them to base their entire existence upon. I by no means make light of that, as many of us are well aware that W-2s in traditional work are no longer sustainable in the current economy or way of life. Many of us have mobile phones. We could work from anywhere on this planet we choose to with a laptop. We have Wi-Fi. We have Ethernet ports. We also have Bluetooth capability. With these capabilities, there is no reason to be sitting in a building, trapped in a prison, promising to pay you. Yet, when they do not have the funds, they simply tell you, it's not our fault. It's a third party. That is passing the buck. That is telling you that they are not in control of your money, yet they are stewards of your money, and who truly controls your money is a third party. You do not know the name of that third party. They do not tell you the name of that third party. But what they do tell you is that they have your money, and when they're ready to give it to you, they will. Anyone who has been a prepper is probably laughing right now. They have prepared by holding cash, gold, food, water, and other resources such as solar power. Everyone who has relied on the banking systems are in despair. Read the comments. I am out of food. I have to feed my children. I have no gas for my car. How am I to make it to work? I was going to pay my rent this week. Now I'm going to be late again. I can't pay my insurance. My insurance is going to lapse. These are all things said on the internet currently due to the Capital One implosion. If you were prepared, you would not be at this point. Who's to blame? You, for entrusting people you do not know and you do not trust with your life? Or is it the banking system, who knows how people like you have no idea who has your money? You need to really think hard about what just happened. Prepare yourselves, as I have, as a gig worker for the last 5 years of my life. Even though I do bank in the banking system, I have resources outside of that system to sustain myself when a crash like this happens. Many of you may not have that ability, but I have that ability. I am sorry for the flickering of this screen, but we are transmitting from a location of low frequency. I must maintain anonymity. If they find out where we are and our location, we may not be able to disseminate this information to you. It is up to you now to take this information that you know and either walk the path or simply know the path. There is a difference. And if there is one thing I must tell you, it is to make sure you have a safe in your home bolted to the floor. From the inside of the safe, in the event that another bank implosion occurs, you at least have $100 to feed your children. For you not to have money in your house, where you live, where you feel most secure, and it being a place of zero value if the bank cannot give you a dime, that is a problem you have to deal with. Again, I do not make light of that situation in which you put your trust into people you do not know. You would not approach these people on the street as if you trust them, yet you give them all of your money. You give them all of your assets. You give them your deed. You give them your titles. And yet you act like it's their problem when you don't have. The lack is upon you.